Welcome to this car journey with me and Delilah. Delilah is my car and we go everywhere together. And I'm using this time as I drive to work just to talk to the world about various things that come into my head, just to share a sentence, a word or a phrase in the big hope that it might just help someone somewhere who needs to get themselves to a better place. And there's lots of people out there in the world that want to get to a better place, no matter where they are at the moment in their lives, no matter how old they are, or whether they, female or male, whether they got a job or not got a job, whether they're rich or poor, education or non-education, people who have got nothing, but people who have seemed to have everything. There are many, many people in the world that want to get to a better place. So I'm hoping just a word, a sentence, or a phrase that I might say might help you if that applies to you. I was talking to Andy, who is a tramp, who is outside one of the stores that we've just taken over, and had a coffee with him and was chatting to him. And I asked him, because I asked many, many people how happy they are out of 10 on the happiness gauge. And I said to Andy, because he seems to be, he's a tramp, the local community are behind this guy. They found him a room to live in. They take him to the doctors. They get his COVID jab for him, and they're trying to help him. And he seems a very sunny type of person. And I thought, is he one of these people, that got nothing but are really happy? And I said to him, how happy are you, Andy? And he said, out of 3 on average, I'm a 3. And we both agreed that that was quite low on the scale. And he said, I just seem to be happy on the outside because that's just the vibe I give out. But yeah, I've got problems in my life. And so I want to try and help him in some way if I can as we move forward and associate together in our lives. But he said to me, there's a lot of people out there, because we were saying, well, actually, money, fame, wealth, all the so-called trappings of success don't necessarily make you a happy person. And he said, because we're in Belsize Park in London, a very affluent area with the rich and the famous coming into the shop, etc. And he said, I get to chat to lots of people. And I was just speaking to a really rich guy the other day who said, Andy, I've got everything in my life, but I am just unhappy. He goes, here's 200 quid. I hope that makes you feel a little bit better. So it don't matter who you are. We all, at some point in our life, want to get ourselves to a happier place. And to get to a happier place, we sometimes need what's called as leadership. Leadership. What a word. We need leadership to help take us to one place to another. We also need, at times, coaches to help us to get to one place to another place. That's what a coach does. It takes someone from here and takes them to where they want to go. And there's plenty of good coaches on LinkedIn, plenty of good coaches on Facebook and around the world if you need help. But I'm talking about leadership today, so let's get on. Dave, for God's sake, get on to the subject. You said 10 minutes ago you're going to be talking about leadership, and you ain't started yet. So, here we go, leadership. And to start with, I'll share with you what I think is, for me, the best definition of leadership. And I was told this on a management course that I attended when there was a question session and someone asked the question of the speaker, well, so tell me, what do you think is a good leader? And he came back and said, a good leader is a person that can take themselves or another person or a group of people or a department or a business or a country or massive organisations to places where they never thought they could get to. So in short, a leadership is someone who can take somebody to a place where they never thought that they could get to. And that just blew my mind. I thought, wow, what a definition. And that stayed with me. And I thought, you're just such a cool guy for saying that. And I later found out that it's a very famous definition that's been out there for a very long time. So he just borrowed it and made himself look good, which is all fine and good and dandy, isn't it? Because we all do that from time to time, don't we? So, A great leader is someone who takes some people or a person to places where they never thought they could go. Me. I'm just bigging myself up for a minute. Big yourself up, Dave, okay? I will. I'm a great leader. I'm known for my leadership skills. One of my bosses once said to me, Dave, you are a great leader. You might take people in completely the wrong direction, but man, people follow you. And a gift that I have got in my life is that I can lead teams. I can lead big teams of people. And in my past, I've not necessarily led them to the right way, but people come with me. And that's the first lesson about leadership. If you are going to lead yourself, or you are going to follow someone else in the hope that they're going to lead you to a better place in your life, in your personal life, in your business life, then make sure that you are choosing a great and a worthy leader. Because there are so many instances and examples around the world in history and actually right now of bad leaders. And I'm talking about leaders of countries, leaders of business, leaders in social circles who are bad leaders and who, in the end of the day, are inflicting pain and hurt on other people and the world. So make sure that you pick a great leader. So, leadership, what can we say about leadership? When we talk about going in the wrong direction, here's a little story that I heard about why you need to make sure you've got a great leader. And before we get into that, it's making sure that the leader has got the correct focus. And if you are going to lead yourself in your life, you need to make sure that the focus that you've got is the correct focus to take you where you want to go, so that you're going in the right direction. And that brings me to this little story. So there was this team of people in a jungle, and they were cutting a path through this very, very thick growth of the jungle. You know, it's really thick, yeah, and they all had machetes, big long knives that they were using to hack at all the undergrowth to cut their path through the jungle. And it was hard going and it was slow going. And they had tried various managers to get the team to become more productive and efficient. And they had tried lots of different things to get them to be more efficient. They got lighter machetes and then heavier machetes. And then they sharpened the machetes to the nth degree. And then they got machetes with huge blades, and then they got more people to put into the team to try to get this path to where they wanted to go, to be cut as quickly as possible. And then they decided that maybe the managers themselves weren't up to the job and they weren't leading the team in the right way, so in the right direction. So they kept changing the managers, and every time they changed the manager, it gave a different emphasis and a different philosophy about how to cut and how they were going to do the job. And they'd have a team of people cutting, and those who were at the front of the team cutting, they'd swap them, let them have a bit of a rest and take them to the back. So they were pushing people from the back who were fresher to be able to keep cutting away in the jungle, and it was taking forever and ever and ever. And then one day they brought in a new leader. And this was a fantastic leader. And the first thing that this leader did was he looked to find the highest tree that he could find. And he climbed that tree. He climbed that tree right to the very top so that he was above the canopy of the jungle. And he looked out across the jungle and he yelled down to the whole team, "You're going! Hey! Hey! Down there! You're going in the wrong direction!" Boom! This leader got above the problem, so he could look down from a different aspect and look far into the distance to where the team wanted to go and could see the clear path, the clear direction. And so he climbed back down and told him, "We ain't going that way. Start cutting this way." And guess what? they got to where they were going as a result of having a great leader. If you are going to lead yourself to a better place, my advice to you is you'd better check your beliefs and values are what they should be for you to lead you in the right direction. You had better make sure that it's something that you really want to do. Because if it's something you really want to do, you've got what's known as a why. And a why will drive you and keep you going on and on and on. So you will never stop until your mission is complete and you've got to where you want to lead yourself into your life. So make sure your belief and values are in the right place. Stephen Covey, or Covey, don't know how I really know how to pronounce it, world-renowned speaker, book writer, etc., etc. The Covey Foundation is based on his work, and he wrote the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which are a fantastic read, fantastic philosophy to live by. And one of those 7 habits is begin with the end in mind. So if you're going to lead yourself or other people, make sure that you know what the end is. Make sure that you know what it looks like. Make sure that you are working with belief and values that are true. Make sure you're working with integrity. Make sure you're taking care of yourself along the journey towards that goal, that target, that dream. Make sure that you're doing everything right along the way and you can then be doing nothing wrong. If you're not a great leader, and not everybody is a great leader, then make sure if you need some coaching or leadership, you pick the right person. And if you're going to lead yourself, do it with everything that you've got. Great leaders, they're not made, they are born. And as I said, I regard myself, I'm not much good at other things in life, but I can lead people and I can lead myself. I've done it. I've led myself to a better place in this world. You can do it for yourself. Hope this has been good for you. Thanks for listening. If you're watching this on video, I haven't even looked at the computer because I'm hands-free. You're talking hands-free here. I'm mic'd up. The computer's put on before I start the journey. I didn't check it really, but I think you can only just see the top of my head. So from the top of my head, I'm going to say to you, at top of the day, have a great day. Keep motivated and above everything else, because it's so important and we keep saying it, be happy. Just be happy. Because if you are not happy in what you're doing, who you're with, and what you're working at in this life, then you've got to ask yourself, what is the point? So stay happy, be happy, take care. See you soon. Bye.